was a lot of fun to watch. You looked like you played with a bit of freedom. You shot the ball well. You defended well, and your hustle and your energy was fantastic.
Yeah, I think all the things that you just said there are things that I want to see out of our group every single time we step on the floor. And losing Bairstow throughout the week was, it's unfortunate to lose any player. And when you have that sort of caliber player who's elite professionalism and elite player, elite defender, to get that sort of effort, I was like, we need other guys to step up. And this guy next to me is a guy that every day he's one of those guys that you want on your team. I've had guys like him on my team a lot throughout my career and know what they bring every single day, and when they're given the opportunity, they're willing to talk to the guys, understand the plays. When called upon, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, they give you all they got.
I might go straight to you, Hyrum, because you've earned this opportunity to start just because you've worked hard and you've played with great energy. How nice is it to know that you've done that, but then also to make the most of the chance tonight and play well?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I try and go out and compete every day, and hopefully things go well for me. And I was lucky enough for them to go well for me today.
You've waited a long time for this chance in the NBL. You've had a couple of limited opportunities elsewhere, but how appreciative are you of this chance in Adelaide, and how determined were you this year to make the most of it?
Oh, I was stoked. I mean, I keep telling CJ I'm just happy to be here regardless if I play 30 seconds, 30 minutes. I'm just happy to be here. So, yeah, I'm always grateful. Yeah.
And CJ, you were playing a team that was playing for their playoff lives in a lot of ways today. How were you able to, turn the heat up on them and play with a bit of freedom yourself, but make life pretty tough for them?
Well, as always in every game, it comes about knowing their players' tendencies and what they run and how you can limit their opportunities. And I thought that throughout the week, I thought I gave them enough information and enough time to understand it. And yesterday, I think H could probably tell you more, but yesterday I was a little upset with where we were at and understanding everything. Not everyone was on the same page, and that showed at different times throughout the game. But it's being locked in and understanding how we go about winning the game and giving ourselves the best chance to go do it. And I thought that starting group definitely delivered in that space, and everyone contributed, but it's about maintaining that throughout. So I thought we did a pretty good job.
Obviously, last Sunday in Melbourne was disappointing, but two of your last three performances have now been really good. If you go back to the win over Cairns as well last Friday, do you feel like things are starting to come together how you might have hoped?
Well, I think there's always different obstacles, as you know, throughout the season. So I think this week having a whole week to prepare, and then how this all came about, only the one game. I think when you play two games, you really got to be mindful of your scoring percentages and things like that, to who's feeling good. And I know that seeing Phoenix win in Cairns, obviously it's a good road win. But then to come here, it's like, well, we need to keep the pressure on them. And so playing fast is clearly good for us, and the depth that I've got and be able to use them. And I went down the chart a little bit here, so to get everyone a chance to play. But again, you've got to earn it throughout the week for me to put you on the floor. So you keep showing that, keep delivering that space, and when your opportunity comes, be ready. And I thought we took the air out of them early, and we kept some of their high performers lower, and the ones that, well, Creaky is Creaky, right? Like, he's an MVP caliber player and playing at MVP level, and what he has to do is, like, make it difficult. Like, you're not going to take away everything, but I thought we did a pretty good job on him as well.
CJ, you touched on the efforts on the track that H has been putting in and reward for effort. Mm-hmm. What about his skill set today? Some of the stuff he did in the low block, he was fearless against Creaky in a couple of those matchups. How impressed with what you saw out there today in the big game?
I've always been impressed. I have to, yell at him a little bit about, taking opportunities to score. He's like the Dylan Boucher and the Mika Vukona type molds. He's trying to find players and set picks and get everyone involved, and he'll do whatever job that you give him. He's on the floor, he's happy, and so and if he's off the floor, he's even talking to his teammates and letting them know what he sees and how they can take advantage of it. So having a player like that is always handy, and I think what you see is what I'm used to seeing every single day.
And CJ, can I just ask, a couple of years ago when Andrew Gaze was coaching Sydney, we sort of touched on the fact that Lindsay goes, his dad gives him advice, whether he likes it or not, he's always on the phone to him.
Yep.
Is that the same with you and Dad? You know, Cal Senior, is he giving you some
Yes.
tips and telling you how good you're going, how bad you
He doesn't have to give me any tips. I think I've earned my right 20 years, but he definitely is an ear. He's an ear for me, and I tell him where we're at and how I think we're travelling through the week. And you know, he knows it's a tough journey at any time of your career, but you know, when things are the way they are for us right now and losing bodies and going through stuff, he's like, you're right there with with less bodies, but it's for me, it's like that's an excuse. So it's like, hey, who's the next man standing? How do we get the most out of him? Well, I've been with Andre and a lot of great coaches, Brian Gorgon, Joey Wright, just to say a few, but those guys there have always. There's times where you have to punch above your weight, and other times where you just need to show and have your team understand the accountability and how to play the right way for us to go get a W, which I think that we've tried to do that. We've tried to do it all season. Like, it's not like it's just a one-stop shop, but definitely the last month we've been in this space.
And how pleased were you with the way the guys took care of the ball? Not so much in the second quarter, obviously, definitely.
Well, they gave me a headache in the second half, so I had to take some Nurofen in the second half, the way they were playing, looking after the basketball. I thought it was more under 14 type look when you get pressed, but something that we got to continue to work on. I think other clubs will see that and teams and want to do some stuff like that. We'll be ready for it as we keep going on. But definitely proud. I think Phoenix isn't a team that really turns you over as much. Like I think Cairns does a really good job in that space. There's a few other teams in that area, but I've got some veterans and some smart guys, and they need to play smarter than how they did down the stretch, obviously. But I'm happy with how we came about and stuck with it. We were patient. We took the air out the ball and took some time off the clock as well.
On your CJ, that's all for me.
Thank you.
DJ, you're playing obviously a few more finals contenders down the stretch. Is playing that disruptor role, is that a motivation at all, or is it all about you and your team?
It's all about us. It's never about the other team and where they sit. I think being at home with COVID when we played Phoenix last time, there's itching to sit in the seat and be able to play a role, but I had to play it from afar. And I think every game that is winnable, and it's how you go about it throughout the week. And clearly, you need to have you love to have as many bodies healthy as possible to be 100% going into the game and have the mindset so that you can go and win it. And I think the teams that we're playing against are playing really well. So it's more set up to be playoff basketball. It's not here for us to be a spoiler. It's us to do our job. I would love for us to be higher than where we are right now, but this is how the season's gone.
And just a word on Bear, when do you hope to have him back?
I'd love to have him back tomorrow if possible, so if you can say a prayer for him. But I think he's going to be out of any time for maybe 10 days or so, but I'll know more once I speak to Doc. But I've been in touch with Bear. He's appreciative of how the club has treated him and how we look after him. But we need to make sure that we get him as healthy as possible so he can help and contribute down the back end.
No worries. Thanks, guys. That's all from me.
Appreciate it. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks.
Cheers, bro.
You done?
Or you, H. You're the man.
Hey.
Thanks, bye.